Here's what you need to know about mastitis. Whether you want to prevent it, whether you want to address a dog that maybe has it, here's everything you need to know when you just had a litter. You potentially have an infection in one of the mammary glands. Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss this episode of Breeders Hacks.
I got you right now. What's going on, Bully fam?
What's going on, Bully fam? It's your boy, the educator, the scientist, Mr. Double Muscle Line Bulls, bringing you another episode of Breeders Hacks from the whelping box. Right? We have a litter here, and I just wanted to cover mastitis. Now, fortunately, that's not something we have, but I get a lot of breeders who contact me about it, and if they knew what it was early enough, a lot of people could prevent mastitis. Mastitis is an infection inside the mammary gland, the equivalent of like the dog's, I guess you would say, like breast. So I just wanted to cover that today real quickly, what to look for, what's usually done to treat it, so on and so forth. So that's why, as we're getting close to the female having her puppies, maybe like the last week or something like that, I'm really being mindful of her mammary glands. Once she starts producing milk, you want to feel them. You know, you want to make sure that they're not getting hard. That's usually the first sign of mastitis, which is, like I said, an infection in the mammary gland. So what you want to do, you're going to go ahead and you're going to feel the mammary glands, all right? You see we got puppies on here, but you want to feel, you want to make sure it's not hard. You want to make sure it's not lumpy, all right? Because if it is, that's usually the beginning of mastitis, right? If you get to it early enough, you can do like warm compresses, things like that. Even just massaging it will help. It'll help break up. Usually like what it's from is like milk that's gone bad in the mammary gland, or it's got clogged, or whatever the case may be. And sometimes it's just a bacterial infection. It's okay, mama, chill out. So anyway, like I was saying, sometimes it's milk that has kind of gone bad in here, or the puppies, right, with their new nails are scratching her mammary gland and it gets an infection in there. That's why keeping things sanitary, a whelping box very clean, is so important, because there can be an infection just from the puppy scratching, just like as you can see right here, right? The puppy's pushing with its paw to try to get more milk out of the mammary gland. So that's why, like, as you guys can see, these puppies are only like 48 hours and their claws are already getting long and sharp, so we're gonna actually have to trim their nails. That's why having, like, you could use like a baby human nail clipper. I have a human one right here, and basically you could just make sure you're keeping the nails trimmed. You want to start that from as young as possible, keeping the puppy's nails nice and trimmed, so it'll prevent them scratching. Not only scratching her mammary glands, but scratching each other. You know, they can get an infection in the eyes and so on and so forth from scratching each other. So you want to keep puppies' nails clean. This is all going to help prevent mastitis. I had a dog that had gotten it before the puppies were even born, so we knew it wasn't the puppy's nails that had caused it. But sometimes, like I said, it gets clogged, it gets filled with milk, it gets an infection in it, whatever the case may be. Sometimes it just happens, right? Another thing that you can do is, like, let's say she gets it. They usually get this like when they're nursing, but sometimes they could get it before, sometimes they can get it after. If they get it after, what you can use is like cabbage. You can use cabbage leaves from in the refrigerator, do a warm compress on the actual mammary gland. I would just do that one mammary gland, because what's going to do is going to actually dry up her milk supply. So that's why you only use it, say, when the puppies are no longer on her. But what I would do, it'll usually feel warm, it'll usually feel hard and lumpy. What you can do is start grabbing the mammary gland, right, and start expressing it, right? Try to get the milk out of there. I don't know if you guys can see, like me, I'm just simply tugging ever so gently, and it's emptying out the mammary gland, right? So you could do that as well. Making sure puppies are cycling on all the nipples, I guess you would say, so that not one is like not getting used and it doesn't get clogged, because they all need to be drained. You know, that's one of the key culprits of mastitis. Another thing is taking your dog's temperature. If her temperature is elevated, that usually means that there's an infection going on. So you want to act on it right away. But if you look at the key signs that I'm telling you early on, you can usually prevent it. Like I said, keeping the puppy's nails trimmed, making sure her mammary glands are cleaned. You can use like very basic cleaning wipes to wipe the mammary glands. You know, that would be safe for puppies, like baby wipes, things like that. Keeping it clean, keeping the whelping box sanitary. That's all going to play a huge part in preventing bacterial infections like mastitis. Now, if you're already there, right? You're already there and now you have full-blown mastitis. I'm going to tell you right now, it can be life-threatening if you don't treat this. So that's why I'm trying to give you guys the pointers on preventing this. But if you have it, right, if you have a dog that has it, what you want to do is, like I told you guys, the compresses, and you're going to need to get your vet on board. You're going to need to give the dog some antibiotics to fight the infection. Yet again, if she has it and it's hard and like a rock and you're doing the warm compresses and you're giving her the antibiotics, it usually does clear up. If you wait too long, I've seen dogs where basically the infection blows a hole in the mammary gland. And oftentimes the vet will have to like cut it or stitch it or whatever the case may be. It never heals the same afterwards. So you don't want to wait till you get to that point. But if it's gotten to a pretty bad point, you're usually going to need to give antibiotics and you're going to need to do like compresses. And that usually helps a lot. But yet again, if you feel like you have mastitis, any of this information, it's not in replacement of your vet. You should definitely go see your vet, get their opinion, see what they say, see what course of treatment it is. This is just the experience that I've had with mastitis and what we've done in the past, that has worked for us. And actually, we haven't had mastitis in a very long time because I'm telling you the things that we do in the beginning to prevent getting mastitis. So as I said, I don't know if you guys can see, but their nails are a little long. So I'm going to be trimming them very shortly. But other than that, guys, that's why you just want to do everything with intention. When you have mama here laying down, I'm checking all her mammary glands. I'm making sure none of them are too hard. They're not getting hard. I'm cycling puppies, right? So earlier I had 3 puppies on the first 3 nipples, and then I had and then I put puppies on the later of the last end of the nipples. I'm switching sides. I'm making sure they're not feeding on just one side, but they're feeding on the other side. So all the mammary glands are getting drained. You do all these things, you should be good. And like I even told you guys, in a worst case scenario, as long as you hurry up, get to your vet, get some antibiotics, you usually can address and treat the mastitis very quickly. If you get to it late because you didn't know what it was, you didn't know what it looked like, you didn't know what to look for when you have a litter of puppies, that's where you get the worst case scenarios. So that's why I want you guys to be trained for when you go into the whelping box, when your dog has her puppies, a week even before she has the puppies, you're checking her mammary glands to make sure that she's not getting mastitis. And if you keep everything clean, keep everything sanitary, you're going to be A-okay. All right, guys. So I'm going to give mama some peace right now with her puppies. But I just wanted to cover that real quickly. So anyway, guys, if you have any experience with mastitis, drop a comment down below. But I hope this information is helpful. Hope it's useful, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of Breeders Hacks. All right, guys.